What's up, BookTube? I have a lot of reviews for books that I just have not got to, so I decided, hey, why don't I do one today? I'm happy. My Spurs won. I feel like doing a video. I feel like talking, even if it's to myself. So today I decided to do a review over a book that I actually read a few months, or a few weeks ago, I guess you could say, not months, weeks ago. And it is a BookTube darling. It is. I can honestly say I don't think I have seen a bad review over this book. I really don't think I have. I even looked for one before I did this video. I couldn't find a single one. And, usually what that means is it's a terrible book. I won't go so far to say it's a terrible book, but it sure lived up to the standards that BookTube darlings usually live up to, usually below par. And that's the way Between Two Fires kind of left me to a certain extent. Now, was this book bad? By no means was this book bad. This book had some amazing moments and really some atmospheric horror that I thought was really fun and kind of creepy. There's certain scenes that, even though obviously you can't see them when you're reading the book, you can imagine what that looks like. And I'll tell you, one scene that comes to mind was the scene where the statues come to life, and it was knocking on people's doors. That was an utterly creepy moment. That was utterly creepy, and in my brain, it still sticks in my brain. So, touche, Christopher Buehlman. Now, this is my second book that I've attempted to read by Christopher Buehlman, I believe. The first one was Black Tongue Thief, and I only got probably about 40 pages into Black Tongue Thief. It's not that I'm not going to read it. It's just I got into it, and I was like, you know what? I don't really, the accents in it really kind of bothered me because it's really thick Scottish or Irish. I don't know, and forgive me for not knowing. I'm a Texan. I'm not Scottish or Irish. I'm not from the Isles. So the way I look at it is I don't really like books that are really thick with the accent because to me, it takes away from the story. And it did in Black Tongue Thief. But in Between Two Fires, it is a story about medieval France. And obviously they speak perfect English, which you would expect in English translation. But at the same time, the whole, the words in French kind of feel a little odd for some reason to me when it is spoken in so clearly in English. It's like, oh, you're English and you speak English and you speak English and you don't have any kind of accent or anything like this, even though this is even like an audio book that I was listening to, and none of it really truly actually sounded or made me in the mood to believe that this is French in any way. So anyways, let's just go over. I know I've already started a little bit early, but I will say, besides the atmosphere, because it really did give off a really good horror atmosphere, I kind of felt like the world building was pretty strong. It was pretty strong. They were going place to place to place, and I don't know why I'm kind of a sucker for that. I like books that move around. I thought the different places had different environments that felt unique and really fit the world around it. Really added to the horror feel about it, and really the overall destruction that had taken place. Really loved that aspect of it. Just overall, when you've got a ruined medieval landscape, which I am, another thing I'm a sucker for, is medieval books. For some reason, I love me some medieval books. And you rarely see a good horror book that is from medieval England or France or wherever it may be. Thought this one did it really well. I also thought it did dream sequences very well as well. That was another aspect of it that I really truly enjoyed. Some really creepy scenes, but it was scenes that I'll admit kind of felt maybe a little bit overplayed because we see it in almost every horror film now. And maybe if you'd have come to me 10 years ago, I would have given it a higher rating on that one. But overall, it was good. Like you could see the scenes in your brain taking place. I thought the angels were kind of creepy to a certain extent. Maybe felt like a little overpowered to a certain point. Maybe a little bit too in the background, but not really doing much kind of thing until like the very end. Could have been done a little bit better, but the angels were creepy, I will say that. So that's kind of like a pro and a con, if you really think about it. So, I mean, as far as prose is concerned, I listened to the audiobook and then I went back and read the book. So I've done both. I've actually done both. I actually think I enjoyed the reading it more than I enjoyed the audiobook. Even though I will say, if you want to do the audiobook with this one, this is a really good one to do that. The problem that I had with the audiobook, though, was Delphine gets really, really annoying. Like, if you are a Borderlands fan, like, think Tiny Tina's Wonderland with Tiny Tina. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So just think of it in that way. So just warning you in advance. And I think I actually enjoyed her character a lot more just reading. It didn't feel so kind of annoying in a lot of different ways. But overall, another thing, and it's kind of like a mid thing, I thought the dialogue was pretty good. I enjoyed the conversations between Tomas and Delphine. I thought they were really good. I thought the priest, I believe his name was Matthew, I thought he played a good role as kind of like a third character in it as well. So I enjoyed the dialogue. I did enjoy the back and forth between the characters to a certain extent. I thought it felt real. It felt like real characters interacting with real characters. Now to get to my favorite part, and that's the cons of the bad parts of it, because I have a few things to say. Now, I am not one that really likes sexual things going towards children in books. I don't want to read that. I find that too often in horror books, and it really makes me sick in a lot of ways. It really, truly does. And this book, from the very beginning, really kind of brings you into it. And you have to always remind yourself Delphine is like a young girl in this. And it really, some of those scenes really bothered me. The dialogue towards those scenes really bothered me. Totally get, they want to be edgy. They want to be, really put you in the world that would have been back then. But I just feel like, to me, there's lines maybe we shouldn't cross. And that probably is one that I would say maybe I wouldn't have gone that route if I was the author. That's just me on that one. Another weak point is the emotional impact. There was really only one character who kicked the bucket in this that for some reason I actually truly cared about. And it's a character that really didn't even have a big role in it, but for some reason it really truly bothered me that this character died saving Delphine. And it was a minor character, and I was like, why do I care so much about this character? But I really actually enjoyed that character for some reason. I thought he would work really well with Tomas in a lot of different ways. I enjoyed his backstory, and I enjoyed how he saved the day to a certain extent. So that was one thing that I really enjoyed. But as far as just like the main characters of this, I enjoyed Tomas, or Thomas, however you would say it. I enjoyed his character. I did enjoy the priest to a certain extent, but Delphine was really, really annoying to me. She got better when I read it over the audiobook, but in the audiobook she's incredibly annoying. She's like trying to get Tomas, or whatever his name is, to not kill people when you're being hunted by demons. So, yeah, kind of hard to do when, the world's gone, Mad Max, and you're trying to fight off all these beasts, and she's like, don't kill, you can't kill, promise me you won't kill. And I'm just like, seriously, like, I get it, you're young, but you're like incredibly, incredibly naive. And I just didn't enjoy that part of it. I did not enjoy that part. So I would say the low part for me, even though I did enjoy 2 out of 3 of the main characters, I would give the characters a pretty low grade. Another thing that I would give kind of a low grade was the plot. It kind of just throws you into it. There was that one scene that I really, truly, absolutely enjoyed with the statues, and then it's just like, after that, it's like sometimes, as much as I thought the dreams were well done, I kind of felt like they kind of came out of nowheres and maybe should have been explained a little bit more, or maybe done in a different ways. After a while, they all kind of started feeling the same. Because, look, modern day horror has this problem, and it is a problem. They try to use curse words and sexual conflicts as horror, instead of just making, I don't know, the world horror, or the creatures horror, or the inner dialogue horror, or conflict horror. Those are what makes great books. Unfortunately, this book fails drastically when it comes to that. So, so just overall, when I say the plot is that way, pacing, yes, it does go from place to place to place, and I did enjoy that we didn't have to stay in a certain place for very long. I kind of felt like kind of the mid part of the book kind of felt like it wasn't going anywhere. It just felt like we're kind of stuck in this one area, and then we'll go to this other area, and then we're kind of like stuck there. And I wasn't really enjoying my time there. I really thought it picked up really well in the end. I thought the end was actually I actually had to go back and reread the end and re-listen to the end, because I got a completely different point of view. At first I was like, what exactly happened here? Like, I'm so confused. And I actually kind of thought, hey, you know what? I kind of like this. If the whole book would have been this way, it was just unique. It was just unique in that way, the end was. And I thought that was really cool. And I thought it really, showed kind of the bond between Delphine and Thomas. And thought that was really cool. Another thing that I absolutely hated, even though I'm kind of going back and forth between things I hate and things I love, is the hell scene. Again, with the sexual stuff that is forced. And when it's forced, I don't want it in a book. I don't want it put in a book. I do not want to read that. And there was a lot of that towards the end, and that was, if there was a negative towards the end, it was the hell scene for me. So personally, did I enjoy that? But as far as overall, just basically what I'm saying is travel, encounter horror, and basically move on and repeat and repeat and repeat is the way it basically got. But overall, I gave this book a 3-star. I gave it a 3-star. I totally understand why people love this book. The atmosphere I thought was excellent. Medieval horror imagery really worked for me. It really was strong, and it stood out. I felt like Buehlman's prose actually they were average, but I did kind of enjoy it to a certain extent. Overall, the characters and the emotional payoff just didn't strike me as anything, over the top. Like, I mean, it didn't strike me as anything that was enjoyable in a lot of different ways. Now, I know this book, to a certain extent, there was moments that it felt impressive, but then majority of it was not. And that just overall hurt the overall aspect of it. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Did you love? Did you hate this book? I know I'm strictly and totally in the minority when it comes to this book. It really seems that way because everybody's like 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm being gracious when I give it a 3 out of 5. That's the way I personally feel. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank y'all for watching. Y'all take care.